This is On the Couch with Dr. K, a show focused on answering the questions of urban and hip-hop adults rising to reach personal stars in daily life. Brought to you each week by Miller Medical Clinic. Now, here's your hostess, Dr. K.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. You're on the couch with Dr. K, and today we are talking about a very exciting topic, looking good and feeling good, debunking the myths of weight loss as well as massage therapists. We're also going to talk about how you can reduce some of your caloric intake. We have a spectacular lady here with us today, Ms. Aryen Moore-Alston, who was recently on the Food Network Star. And so she's going to be here to talk about that. We also have just the phenomenal Dr. Aryen Miller of Miller Medical Clinic. And I'm sure many of you have heard me say his name now probably 3,499 times because he is the sponsor of this program. And I know him personally. He's worked with me for years now. And he is not only concerned about your weight loss, but he is concerned about your overall health and well-being. So, hey, everybody. Hi. We're here. And even though some of you may be watching the game, and that is perfectly fine, you should be playing the game, though, if you want to lose weight. But if you're watching the game, you may be able to watch this show tomorrow when we put it up on YouTube as well as our Facebook page at On the Couch with Dr. K. So you never have to miss any one session. You never have to miss it. We also have Shawn Da Barber, who's here. He'll be joining us in just a bit. Oh, here he is. Hi, Shawn. How are you today?
Okay.
All right, good. We're glad you're here. And how are you today, Dee? You're doing well. Good. Glad to hear that. Well, before we even go forward, I do want to just give our condolences to the Finch family. We understand that their daughter passed recently. A lot of people are in mourning for her, and we want to just offer our condolences to that family. We know how very hard it is to suffer from a death in the family, especially one that was as unforeseen as this one. So I'm going to give everyone a chance to introduce yourselves, and we will do ladies first. Okay. We'll start with Aryen. Good morning.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Aryen Moore-Alston. I'm the owner and chef of Sweet Potato Baby.
Yay.
Thank you, which is a catering and baked goods company.
Okay.
So I was on this season of Food Network Star. I was the first contestant ever from Tennessee.
Yes.
The first contestant ever from Memphis.
Wow, that is crazy because we are cooking here.
I know, right? We can throw down in Memphis.
Exactly.
So that's very surprising.
Okay.
But from Italy to Memphis, I'm here. And I love Memphis.
All right.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being here. And we're going to go now to one of my very favorite people, Dr. Aryen Miller. Yay!
Thank you.
So introduce yourself right in that mic.
I am Dr. Aryen Miller. I'm the owner and the physician at Miller Medical Clinic. We're a weight loss clinic and been in business for 17 years now.
Wow. Now, no, I was not there when the doors opened. Duh. I was not there, but it is a great clinic. It is located right off Poplar and Kirby, correct?
Right.
So it's very conveniently located, and all of the people, all of the staff working with Dr. Miller, they're all very professional, they're very caring, and they really listen to you. So if you want to ask some questions today, our number is 901-260-5926. We're going to go right around to Shawn Da Barber. What would you like to say this afternoon? I want it to be morning. Go ahead, Shawn.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
I just want to apologize because I was in the room to Dr. K, but I was talking to my Uncle Twin. Shout out to Uncle Twin. I got him listening, so you can call in if you want to. But
Uncle Twin, only in Memphis.
Yeah, but I'm just glad I made it here, and I'm looking forward to a good show.
All right. So now, I'm fascinated by the uncle twin thing. Is your uncle a twin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. I had twin uncles too, and they looked so much alike. I called them both by the same name. Their names were Billy and Willie, and I just called them Uncle Billy Willie, just
That's
to, because I couldn't tell them apart. So, yay. Hey, Uncle Twin. You should call in. The number is 901-260-5926 because men have questions about weight loss as well that can start to become an issue, or sometimes they may have a female companion or even a male companion who is having weight loss issues and they want to be able to help that person. So this is a topic everyone can actually get into. And so as we've done all of our introductions, it's actually time for our first break. When we come back, we will look at our stats and facts, and we're going to look at just what obesity is, what being overweight is, and actually some of the complications that come with that. Because being in the South, I believe a lot of times we will have some misconceptions about what truly is overweight and what is obese. And although we may accept being overweight or obese, that does not change what it is. It doesn't change what it is. So you may be comfortable being overweight, but that doesn't mean that you're not overweight. So we'll talk about that. Don't get mad at me. I like cupcakes too, so don't
And
be
I
mad.
make cupcakes.
And she makes cupcakes, but she makes them with some healthy alternative ingredients inside of the cupcakes. So we'll talk about that when we get back. So you're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. Our topic today is looking good and feeling good, debunking the myths of weight loss clinics. We'll be right back after these messages.
Shake that healthy butt. Baby got ballet with the open Baby got ballet with the open.
Now you can listen and watch too. Go to our website to listen online and to see our studio cam, kwam990.com.
The following commercial is sponsored by feedthepig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned,
no obligation consultation,
nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety,
one-stop shopping,
everything under one roof,
or promise
prices reduced up to 75%,
a sale like this can't go on forever, factory liquidation,
financing options available.
We will offer no contingencies like
See store for details.
prices and participation may vary,
Legal exclusions apply.
no purchase necessary,
or try to convince you that our product will give you
Leaner, tighter abs in minutes.
perfect smile, porcelain veneers,
Freedom from those painful, embarrassing bunions.
because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
The most local talk radio from Memphis, AM 990, KWAM.
Hey, are you trying to lose weight? Miller Medical Clinic has the latest in 20 different forms of phentermine, including Belviq, Suprenza, and Qsymia. He also has B12, lipotronic, and testosterone injections, and sinus cocktails. I know Dr. Miller. He's devoted to your overall health and wellness and your weight loss. Contact Miller Medical Clinic at 901-624-6885 or www.artmillermedical.com. So don't wait, lose weight. Call now, Miller Medical Clinic, 901-624-6885.
Join AM 990 KWAM on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/KWAM 990.
Okay, I know all of us like Baby Got Back. And today we are talking about looking good and feeling good, debunking the myths of weight loss clinics, as well as going to massage therapists. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K here on AM 990 Talk Radio. The number here is 901-260-5926. So before we left, I promised that we would go into our stats and facts, and this was found by my wonderfully intelligent intern, Stanley Shotwell II. I said, Stanley, you have to come over here so people can just see how adorable you are. Thank you, Stanley. Wait, because I know your mama and dad and everybody's out there. So Stanley works so very hard, and he's just so smart, and he always finds great information. So thank you. All right. So, our stats and facts today, they are actually taken from obesity and overweight, and this is from the Center of Disease Control, Fast Stats, Health US 2013. It's a PDF from that organization. So, I asked Stanley to find me the percentage of adults who are considered obese, and then those who are considered overweight in the United States. This information is from 2011 and 2013. So get this, Dr. Miller, because, I mean, you should have a lot of business. Percent of adults aged 20 years and over who are considered obese within this country, 35.1% of people are considered obese. Now, the percentage of adults aged 20 years and over who are considered overweight, including obesity. Okay, I just want people to guess at what you think the stat might be. Not you, Dr. Miller, because you probably know. But anybody else. What do you
60?
think? That's a good one. 69%. 70% of us are overweight or obese. That's beyond epidemic. That's beyond epidemic, not academic. Epidemic proportions. That's a lot of people. 70% of us have issues with weight. Well, what does that mean? Don't be ashamed of it. Everybody's having these issues, so you should feel comfortable talking about it and getting help for it, because a lot of us obviously need help in this area, because there's so many of us who are still struggling with being obese and or overweight. So what does obesity mean in terms of the numbers? Now, this is where people start to get mad and walk out the room and don't leave. Let me get you the information. Because basically it is, at this point, there are many ways to measure it. The way we decided to look at it, we decided to look at the charts for BMI. And that would be a healthy weight for your height in general. So if we were to look at the BMI and what that means for all of us, I'm just going to start reading it. And I'm not going to read every single height and weight, but I will read just some of the major ones, okay? In fact, what I'll do is, I'm not going to read my height. I'll read other people's heights. I don't want y'all out there calculating on me. But I will tell you, I still fall into the overweight. I really do. Because 1 pound overweight is overweight. I'm only 1 pound overweight. No, I'm kidding. But overweight is overweight. So if you are, we'll just start with 5 feet tall. If you are 5 feet tall, you should be weighing, in order to be considered within the quote-unquote normal body range. At 5 feet tall, you should be under 128 pounds. Because the BMI is 25. So anything under 25 is considered normal, right? So you should be 28 pounds or less. If you are 5'5", you should be under 150 pounds. See, I know he knows. You should be under 150 pounds or less. 5'8", that's another popular height for women. You should be under, under 164 pounds. Then let's go for men. If you are 6 feet tall, you should be, which now, I like a man that's a little overweight, so this number's not going to work for me. But if you're 6 feet tall, you're supposed to be, is this true, 174 pounds or less? Well, okay, so that was not going to work for me. Let's go with another number I like. Let's go with 6'4". So, if you are 6 feet 4 inches tall, you're supposed to weigh less than 194 pounds? So even our eyeballs are not adjusted to the right height and weight proportions. Because I know if I saw a guy who was 6 feet tall and he weighed 175 pounds, I would go, where's the rest?
What's the average for NBA player?
I don't know.
The average height and weight.
And weight. And you know what? And I have read some information where they adjust for people who are athletic, for people who are really into sports, because sometimes they have to put on a lot of muscle weight. But now, let's be honest. Most of us are not that. We're not that athletic. We're not all muscle. And believe it or not, just because you think you are quote unquote firm, that doesn't necessarily mean that's muscle either. It just might mean it's non-jiggly fat. Okay, we have a call. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, hi. I have a question about B12 shot. I hear a lot of people, talking about the B12 shot. Does it in energy, or, do you have to them like several times within a month or within a year for it to take effect?
Okay, let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly, caller. And thank you so much for calling in. You want to know about the B12 shot, and does it really provide more energy, and how many times do you have to get the shot? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. I'm going to let Dr. Miller answer that question. And thank you so much for calling, and continue to call, okay?
Thank you.
Dr. Miller.
A B12 shot is normally 1,000 micrograms of cyanocobalamin. And because of the way that when you get it injected, it's immediately available to your red blood cell population, which in turn will cause an increase in your oxygen carrying capacity. This will cause you to feel a bit different in about 10 minutes usually.
Wow.
If a person has a bit of a B12 deficiency, which if they don't eat a lot of animal products, that's how you get that type of problem, or blood loss or any other number of things. But you can feel the shot usually within 10 minutes. You can tell that you feel different. The shot of 1,000 micrograms usually will last about 2 weeks and 4 days. So it's not something that you have to do all of the time, but that's generally what we'll see with the B12.
All right.
But you do feel it right away. You don't have to take multiple shots in order to be able to feel it. You should be able to feel it right after the first shot.
Oh, that sounds really good. So, like, for the B12 shot, how much does something like that cost in general? Is it $1,000?
No, it's only $15 a shot.
What?
So
okay, $15.
It's not that expensive of an
Oh,
injection,
okay. That might be worth it. I mean, because really we're talking about vitamins, right?
It is a nutrient. It is a vitamin. It's cyanocobalamin is. It's involved in also making a short-term memory. Besides just your ability to transport oxygen, we know that B12 is involved in the formation of new memory. So it's in your short-term memory. It's a critical part of that.
Okay, great.
So nix the ginkgo biloba and
exactly.
Yeah, you better check your B12.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't remember what things are.
I might need to talk to you about that. Sometimes I can't remember who I am. Okay, we have another caller. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, I actually have a comment for Aryen Moore-Alston.
Yes, Aryen Moore-Alston. Okay, great.
Yes, actually, I wanted to first off wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody! Yay!
Yep. And I just wanted to let her know that I checked her out while she was on the Next Food Network star, and I feel that she represented black women in Memphis with such class and such grace, and I just wanted to commend her on that. And I actually had a question for her. I heard that you mentioned earlier that you own a company called Sweet Potato Baby, and that you have baked goods with healthy alternative ingredients inside. I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit more.
Sure. Well, thank you for the birthday wishes, and thank you
for calling. And
yes,
please continue to call, caller.
Well,
thank you.
I started off. I wanted my daughter to have the healthiest experience when she was born, so I nursed and I made all of her baby food. And when she started eating real foods, I should say not real foods, but when she started eating, I had all of this leftover product in my freezer, and I started throwing them into cupcakes. So it started with cakes and cupcakes, from my Sweet Potato Baby, which is a signature made with sweet potatoes, to my red velvet made with beets, my yellow cake made with butternut squash. I have black velveteen chocolate cake that's made with acai berry.
Oh my
so
goodness,
I just
so you
kind
didn't
of
bring them?
and then I grew up in Europe where you're driving past a market or a supermercado, and you just stop and you get your groceries on your way home. So it was kind of a way of introducing all of those great vegetables and all of that great vitamins and all that nutrients into the cakes and cupcakes, and people fell in love with it. And I expanded to doing private chefing in people's homes and full service catering. So it's been going strong, but that's how it developed. And I think it's a great alternative to just eating a cupcake. At least I can say I had spinach in a cupcake with a mint chocolate chip cupcake. And it's great. It really is. I wish I had some for everyone. So I should have brought some. But no, that's just the alternative. I say you can have your cake and eat it too with Sweet Potato Baby.
All right. I love that.
And you can check us out online. This is my plug.
Yes.
www.sweetpotatobaby.co.
Okay, good. $20. I'll collect it later. Okay,
Thank you again for calling.
Good, great. Thank you so much, caller. We really appreciate that. And you know, Dr. Miller, people a lot of times will look at certain foods and they'll say, that's bad. You know, oh no, I can't eat that. That's bad. But if I'm understanding correctly from what you're saying, it's really about calories in and calories out. Can you yes, can you talk about that so that people will know that yes, you can have one of these, you know, healthy, nutritious cupcakes, but maybe you can't have 12 or 13 all in one day like I would want.
Well, we try to get across to our patients and people that come to see us is the fact that weight is ultimately determined by your daily caloric intake, how many calories you take in a day versus how many calories you take out. And so we give them a basic rule of mathematical probability when we tell you that if you take your weight multiplied by a factor of 12, that's a good estimate of how many calories it takes every day of your life to stay the weight that you currently are. If you're less than that, then and in all likelihood, you probably are losing body fat if your caloric intake is below that. We try to get them to drop at least 500 calories a day from their daily calorie intake. That'll drop 3,500 calories in a week, which is a pound of fat. To get rid of 1 pound of body fat, we have to drop 3,500 calories. So a calorie is a calorie when it comes to body fat and how much fat you carry on your body. The origin of the calorie is irrelevant as far as it can be made into fat or not. If it's excess energy is what a calorie is, and if we take in too many of them, we gain weight. So that's what it boils down to.
Okay. So when you're saying cut out 500 calories a day, like could that be something as simple as, you know, cutting out a bag of potato chips or, you know, 8 cookies or tell us kind of what that would be equivalent to?
Well, the 500 calories a day is close to that of a Big Mac, I guess, in all reality. But maybe too many late night snacks for a lot of people, too much hunger throughout the day and throughout the night. And that's why we use medications in our business, is to help them be able to control the appetite. That's most of the medicines that are on the market today are basically designed to be able to make it to where you're not so hungry. When you try to eat, you can't eat as much, and physically alter your basal metabolic rate. So that's what we do with the medications. That's how they're effective in helping people to be able to do this.
And I want us to really get into the medication because we did an online survey asking people, should you ever use aids to help you lose weight? And a lot of people said no. So I really want us to address that after this next break. And I think we're going to really free some people in just a few minutes because there are a lot of myths out there about what is healthy, what isn't healthy, what diet supplements do and what they don't do. So when we come back, we will discuss, again, our topic for today is looking good, feeling good, debunking the myths of weight loss clinics as well as massage therapies and even food. If you want to join in on this conversation, give us a call at 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
Join AM 990 KWAM on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/KWAM 990.
Karen Streeter Psychological Consulting is a firm dedicated to helping parents, schools, churches, and organizations assess and treat learning, emotional, and behavior difficulties in children. We offer services such as IQ testing, academic testing, behavior analysis, behavioral planning, preventive counseling, parent training, staff development, professional development, crisis management, and risk assessments, and so much more. To enrich the lives of your children, call Karen Streeter Psychological Consulting at 901-650-2569 or email me at kstreeter5@aol.com.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our kids and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on teens with low self-esteem who perform poorly in school and who seek a sense of belonging. Protect kids from gangs. Know who they're hanging out with. Encourage them to become involved in school activities. Give kids a positive alternative to gangs. To learn more, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
KWAM 990, the voice of Memphis.
I'm sorry. I was into the song. Again, you're on the couch with Dr. K. I haven't heard that in a long time. Remember when that came out? Everybody was like, oh, yeah. So I do choose the songs, and I thought if baby got back, then men can have muscles. I like that. So if you want to participate in this topic for today, which is looking good and feeling good, we're debunking some of the myths about weight loss clinics, massage therapy, foods you eat, all of that. Give us a call at 901-260-5926. Right before our break, we started getting into some of the thoughts and some of the myths surrounding diet supplements and aids, i.e., quote-unquote diet pills. And online, on Facebook, we actually did a little poll, and almost 100% of the people said no, but without any explanation. Just, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea. In fact, I have Kelly here who says, no, it's just it's only a temporary fix. So can you speak to us a little bit about some of the myths? And I know one super myth about diet pills is people say, oh, they'll kill you. So talk about that. Tell us about that.
Well, Pondamin was a drug that 17 years ago was pulled off of the market because people weren't dying from the drug. They were actually developing valvular abnormalities. They thought that the drug was able to bind to the valves of the human heart and cause an abnormality to develop in certain patients. They did go over everybody that had taken the drug, hopefully, and they got screened and their hearts checked to make sure that they didn't have this problem. But as far as we know, that the amphetamines now have been on the market for over 55 years.
Wow.
The last time they went through FDA clinical trials was just a couple of years ago. Qsymia is a new drug that's on the market, and Qsymia is a part of the drug is phentermines, and so phentermines actually had to re-go through all of the FDA clinical trials in order to be on the market again under this new drug name. So, but this is not new medicine. They have been around and used for 55 years to help people control their weight. So, but nobody died from Pondamin that we're aware of. It's more so that the valvular abnormalities could develop.
Wow, I appreciate that you were able to speak to that, because what happens is we hear these really, just scintillating stories on the news, and you hear fen killing people, and you never hear the results of what else happened. You never hear that, oh, well, actually, nobody died. We just thought people were dying, or, we actually went back and corrected that issue. So I'm glad you're here to address that. And that, did you say Pondamin? Pondamin, that was the fen part of the fen, right? Fenfluramine. Okay. So for those of you out there who think that diet pills or supplements will, quote unquote, kill you, that's not necessarily true. But what will kill you is diabetes. That'll kill you. And a lot of times when we're talking about, as soon as we say, well, no, I don't want a diet supplement or aid, but yet we're suffering from conditions that will surely kill us. And some of us really, really need help. Even if we don't go into diet pills, maybe you need the help of a professional to help you choose some of the activities and foods and maybe aids that you need to actually lose the weight. Shawn, earlier you were saying something about some of your eating habits. Now, Shawn is within his weight range, I'm sure. But still, there's some education that we need to have about our choices of food. So what were you saying earlier, Shawn?
Well, I was just saying, as y'all can see, I am kind of in shape a little.
Yeah, come over here. Let's see your shape. I'll let you speak in my mic. Don't stand next to me because you're too in shape. Okay, go ahead.
But, I eat a lot of fast food, a lot of salt, a lot of kind of, stuff that they say that's not good for you. But I work out. I'm always moving. So I'm trying to see, is my blood pressure, would my blood pressure be high by eating a lot of salt and a lot of greasy food? Like how all that kind of stuff work? Because I'm kind of less educated on it because I don't see any results.
Yes.
So But
tell me too, because I'm not happy.
I'm the opposite.
Exactly. I can go buy a hamburger and sniff it, and they're like, go right to the gym.
Exactly.
So yes, go ahead.
Well, blood pressure is not really something that you can feel. Blood pressure is a number that you get when you have it checked. It's you don't have symptoms normally when you have an elevated blood pressure. Looking at family history will oftentimes give a person a good idea of whether they should suspect something, but the only way to really know whether or not you have high blood pressure is to get your number checked. It's a real simple test. It just takes a few seconds, and then you know your number. Controlling your blood pressure is everything. The reason why there are so many dialysis centers all around here, and in fact, I think there are 22 in Memphis alone that run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never shut down, is because too many people go for too long with an elevated pressure, and it just destroys their kidneys.
Oh, wow.
But salt does increase it. Salt increases your intravascular volume by causing water retention, which will drive up your blood pressure. That's what happens. The fatty, greasy foods, what they do basically to you is clog your vessels. So, but that can raise your blood pressure as well. Because once your vessels are closing down, it will cause an increase in the vascular resistance. So that makes a difference as well. So a change of your diet a little bit might make a big difference in how you feel every day. And we are, like she said a minute ago, we are a product of what we eat. So eating right is everything.
So if we go somewhere, what do we, like, go to the doctor? What do we actually go to them and ask for? Like, what are we actually asking for?
Anytime that you see a doctor, usually you'll be screened for your blood pressure. Most every physician's office will check your pressure just to see where you're at. In our case, we also weigh you just to see where that lies and then go from there. But you could just for a general physical exam, in your case, just to get a good checkup, just to make sure everything was okay. Because getting a check of your blood and seeing where your cholesterol level is, your triglyceride levels are, your good cholesterol and your bad cholesterol, and your it's a lipid panel. But knowing those things is really important because it can lengthen your life if you were to take care of them, and it'll cut it short if you don't. So that's the whole idea behind it.
Wow, thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you. And you know what? And I believe everything you've said, because whenever you go into Dr. Miller's clinic, before you're weighed, before anything like that occurs, they will sit down and they check your blood pressure. They check your vital signs. He listens to your heart. He will ask you questions about, not just how much weight did you lose, because then, I'm going to be mad. So no, his question is, how are you feeling? Were there any issues, any complications? What's going on in your life? And that really makes you feel like a whole person, that the whole person is being treated and not only this issue that you have with weight. So I really want to commend you for that, because it can be a really sensitive issue for people who are having issues with weight. And although a lot of us feel like we're not having it, the stats here show very clearly 70% of us have issues in this area. So we really need to be able to address that. And although we don't have a massage therapist here today, I use that as a part of my health regimen. And massage therapy a lot of times can help you just with lymphatic cleansing, with getting some of the gunk that builds up in your body out. Well, what does that mean? Every day we're out here and we're eating bad stuff. We're out here in the pollution and all of that, and that builds up in your body as well. And it can just make you feel achy and not very happy and all of that. And even stress can build up. And so going to a massage therapist, not a masseuse, not for a happy ending, because I really think that's illegal. Going to a legal massage therapist can help. And, I've heard a lot of men, especially, I don't want a guy touching all over me, or women who even feel uncomfortable with people, quote unquote, touching on them. Well, they are also medical professionals. They're not a doctor like Dr. Miller, but they are trained. If you go to a trained one, not your cousin BB, okay? A trained therapist. And trained therapists know how to make you feel comfortable. You're able to undress to your level of comfort. They put towels and blankets over you to ensure that only certain parts they're working on are exposed. So don't just automatically discount something because it seems like you would feel uncomfortable with it. At the end, you may actually feel better than you felt in years. Once I started getting massages, and I started because I have an inflammatory arthritis in my wrist. And so that was part of the regimen suggested to me to look good and feel good. And I really can tell a difference when I go ahead and get the massages versus not. So if you have any questions about massage therapy, weight loss, any of that, give us a call here at 901-260-5926. We're talking about looking good and feeling good right here On the Couch with Dr. K on AM 990 Talk Radio. We will be right back after these messages.
The most local talk radio from Memphis, AM 990, KWAM.
Streeter's Total Beauty is a hair salon that invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of beauty today. Dial 901-649-0559. Look to Randa Patton Streeter's lifestyle blog, which also invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of high fashion and glamour. Like her on Facebook today. For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of Attorney Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and social security cases. Call today at 901-624-8852 for a free consultation.
Now you can listen to AM 990 everywhere on your iOS or Android mobile device. Simply go to KWAM990.com for all the details.
Hey, are you trying to lose weight? Miller Medical Clinic has the latest in 20 different forms of phentermine, including Belviq, Suprenza, and Qsymia. He also has B12, lipotronic, and testosterone injections, and sinus cocktails. I know Dr. Miller. He's devoted to your overall health and wellness and your weight loss. Contact Miller Medical Clinic at 901-624-6885 or www.artmillermedical.com. So don't wait, lose weight. Call now, Miller Medical Clinic, 901-624-6885.
She got a pack much back, so fellas, is your girlfriend got your butt? Hell yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got ballet with the open
Okay, we're back. Everybody's laughing at me, but I like that song. I remember when it came out, that was the fat girls anthem. Like, yeah, I got that. And now all those same fat girls are like at the clinic trying to lose weight. Because then it's like you had back then. Now you got back, front, side, neck, all that good stuff. So, but that's okay because every day is a new day and we can change it. I understand we have a caller. Okay. Hi, you're on the couch with Dr. K.
Hey, Dr. K, it's Brother Love. How you doing?
Fine. How are you? Thank you for calling in.
Yes, ma'am. And hello to your guest, Dr. Miller, and your other guest the other day. I wanted to ask, I got two things I want to ask, and I think what got my attention is you mentioned diabetes, and that is a real serious epidemic that's going on here in America and around the world. And I was going to mention something about that, too. I took a physical about 12 years ago, and at that time my weight was 228 pounds at 5'11". And I was told I was a borderline diabetic. Didn't need to take any medicine, didn't need to do anything, but I was a borderline diabetic. And it's my understanding it runs in my family. I think my grandmother had it and my mother had it. And, he simply told me to lose 10 pounds and it'll probably go away. And sure enough, right now I'm at 216 pounds and I'm no longer a borderline diabetic. So that was a concern of mine when you brought up diabetes, because I know there are a lot of people that have that disease, and I think controlling your weight plays a big part in that. I mean, I'm a true believer in that because it worked for me. And but my other concern is, and this is for Dr. Miller. I heard you say at 6 feet tall, and I'm just 5'11". I'm an inch below that. 6 feet tall, you should be 170 something pounds. So I think I'm way overweight anyway, still after losing those few pounds. And I wanted to ask the doctor, do I need to get down to 170 pounds or 175 pounds as far as good health?
Absolutely. If you had pre-diabetes years ago, there's a good chance that could come back to bite you. It does tend to come back around in a lot of people. So I would make sure that you had your fasting blood sugars checked, make sure your numbers are running below below 100 on the fasting. So a glucose between 100 and 140, when it's a fasting blood glucose, is going to be considered a borderline diabetic. And that would have been what they would have told you years ago. But now we know that we treat that. We treat that with medications. Okay. We don't just let it just go anymore. That, you know, you're not just told to go diet, but there are medications that we use that actually helps a person that's borderline diabetic, hopefully, to never become a diabetic. So, but it is
so
something
you said
that
I
you
should
should
be checking my sugar still, you know, even though that my physician told me everything was great, and it's usually great every time I go. I still have a concern as far as these, 35, 40 pounds that I still need to lose.
With that much extra weight on you, most of the type 2 diabetes that is out there today is due to excess body fat. The fat doesn't take up the glucose as well as the muscle does, and so that's what causes the insulin resistance and leads to the diabetes. But if you've had a history of it, it is something that you should keep a check on. I mean, at least your yearly physical, you should have the numbers done on a fasting basis to see where you are and make sure that your numbers are below 100. Between 60 and 100 is normal, so that's what you're looking for. But
well, Doctor, I certainly thank you for that information, and I'll definitely get working on that. But I have one last question here, and I'll let you go. If the fat, if I'm 216 pounds of pure muscle, does that make a difference as far as where my weight should be, or is it the fat? Is it the fat that brings the diabetes, or is it just simply the weight of your body?
Fat cells tend to be more insulin resistant on the body than what muscle cells are. So if you were mostly muscle, then it's not as big as a concern. But if it's a lot of it is fatty tissue, then it is a concern, because that's where you'll run into problems with it. So, but exercise is a good way to help prevent the diabetes and to keep it from ever coming back on you. You have to move your muscles and use your muscles, and hopefully you are more muscular. But that 176 that she might have mentioned for a 6 foot tall man, or 174 or 176, that's a number that we know that if we can get you down, actually it's anything below that, because a 176 is a body mass index of a 25, and to be normal, it actually has to be below 25, like a 24.9. So you want to be just a touch below that weight. And the reason being is that's where you know that you can extend your life to the longest and have the fullest quality of life without having the worries of things like diabetes or your blood pressure or things like that.
Well, Doctor, I appreciate it. I've been 200 pounds all my adult life, and boy, that's going to be a tough one, but I'll definitely check into getting below 200 pounds. And I certainly thank you for that information. And Dr.
yourself trying to get there. If you made it that far, just keep praying on it, and everything gonna work out.
And, Brother Love, I've seen you. Most of yours is, most of yours is muscle. However, I'm here to help you. We can get on those bikes and ride that green line, all that good stuff.
And then you can come get a cupcake.
Yeah, you, Doctor.
Exactly. Yes, you can use a healthy cupcake as a great reward at the end. I think that's the great way.
After you do the green line. Then
exactly. Everything in moderation. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. We have another caller. Okay. All right. No other caller? Okay, great. All right, good, because we're actually out of time, caller, so don't call in at this point. We need to get to our 4-point star, which is actually sponsored by the Memphis Stars magazine, where everyday people can become stars. So we know that we've had a lot of fun today, and we've talked about some serious things as well as some fun things. But in the end, everyone wants to feel good. Let's all say that together. Good. And let's spell it together. G-O-O-D. Good. G. The first thing is you need to get an expert's opinion so that you may make an informed decision about your health and wellness. Just like with Brother Love, for so long, he felt like 200 is good, but now he has an informed decision, and he can make that decision about whether he wants to get smaller or whether he's okay with where he is. And really, it's about the informed decision, not just letting life always push you right or left. You make a decision about it because, Only you can decide with your information how you want to look. That's your decision. You don't want it to be handed down to you and feel like you have no control. You get to make that decision. And for the next O, only you can make the decision about how you want to feel and what you want to do in order to feel a certain way. Once you get that information, then you can make decisions about if you want massage therapy to feel good, if you want to exercise to feel good, if you want to lose weight, whatever you choose, this is something that only you can choose, not somebody else, you. And then lastly, D, do something. Whatever you choose, don't make the choice and then suffer from inactivity. Do something. Make a choice. If you're choosing to move more and eat less, start doing that. Not tomorrow. Start doing it today. Start doing it with your next meal. Start doing it within the next hour so that all of us can feel good. G-O-O-D, good. So now, in our last few minutes, I give everybody 10 seconds to shine. So we'll start with you, Aryen. Your 10 seconds. What do you want people to remember about you?
Remember that living life, you're supposed to love it. I mean, you have to take every day as a new day and learn from your experiences. And like she said, make informed decisions based on the knowledge that you've acquired over the years. But if you need service as far as catering or baked goods, you can go to www.sweetpotatobaby.co and call us at 901-401-0379.
You're up to $40. Okay, good. Dr. Miller.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we want people to always make informed decisions about what they're doing and how they're going to go about getting themselves to their ideal weight. Our office is easily contacted at 901-624-6885, and you can check out our website at artmillermedical.com. But we're there Monday through Saturday. We're open 6 days a week, and there's a lot of good staff there to always take good care of you. So
great. And we'll be having a meet and greet there really soon. So stay tuned to get the date on that. Shawn, do you have anything to say in our last few minutes?
I just want to say, feel good about yourself no matter how big, tall, or small you is, because, I mean, everything happened for a reason. So stay fit and go on with the next day.
I like that. Thank you. And so, as always, in parting, I wish you a life full of love, peace, and happiness. If you cannot be in love, then at least try to be happy. If you cannot be happy, then try to be peaceful. But when your peace has been disturbed, then it's time for you to change your situation. Thank you so much. You've been listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. Remember to like us on Facebook and go to our new website, www.onthecouchwithdrk.com. Have a wonderful Sunday, and everybody give yourselves a hand for a great show. Yay! Yay! All right.
Boys like to shout. Baby got back.